Hey everyone, it's Dwayne here. Welcome to another episode of Snapshots from the Summit. 5 minutes of amazing goodness that will enable you to unlock the money vault, flip the bird at the 9 to 5, and slash decades from building wealth, my friends. Okay, let's dive straight in. It was Tony Robbins, I think, that said something along the lines of, paraphrasing here, the quality of the questions determines the quality of your life, right? Quality of your questions determines the quality of your life. Now, it's interesting. Do you actually know what questions you ask yourself? There's a little voice that is constantly chattering away inside that 6 inches between your ears that is asking questions, right? So as Tony said, the quality of your questions determines the quality of your life. So do you know what questions are running through that head of yours? So an exercise I want you to take some time to undertake is finding out what kind of questions you ask yourself, right? So you might want to take 10 minutes, get a timer, get a pad, get a pen, and write down the dominant questions that you ask yourself. Now, generally, you'll probably come between, say, maybe half a dozen to a dozen questions that are the ones that routinely you run your life with across the board in health, wealth, relationships. So questions like, here's an example, right? Will Smith has a question that he literally runs part of his life with, and that is this. And this is a question that is neither true nor is it false, but to the believer of the question, right? So the question is neither true nor is it false, but it is based on the person that asks the question, right? So if you truly believe that this question is true, then it is for you, right? But out in the universe, it's neither true nor is it false, but for what the person that's asking the question believes. So Will Smith has this belief, this question that he asks himself all the time, which is this. And I have actually adopted this question, so full disclosure here. I thought it was an amazing question from which to perceive the world, right? And that's all these questions do, right? They are powerful or they are disempowering based on what you believe, right? So one of Will Smith's questions is this: how can I make this moment even more magical, right? How can I make this moment even more magical? So what that question predisposes is that, one, the moment is already magical. How can I make it even more so magical? So the story goes that on the set of Suicide Squad, right? And they're filming from like 11 p.m. through till 6 in the morning out in the streets. It's freezing cold. It's drizzling with rain. And here's Will Smith with that predominant question: how can I make this moment even more magical? What he does to his castmates, and we're talking a guy who's worth plenty. And when we look at what Hollywood actors are like, this is he's the total opposite of what you'd expect from some of the divas when it comes to Hollywood. But here's Will Smith. How can I make this moment even more magical? He is going around with blankets and cups of hot cocoa, etc., and giving it out to his co-stars and to any of the other people that are working there on the set that evening, right? So how can I make this moment even more magical? That drives his life. How can you create questions that will do the same for you, right? So like I said, I've adopted this question. It becomes true for me when I say, how can I make this moment even more magical, right? Another question that I adopt when it comes to unlocking the money vault and evaluating potential opportunities, potential investments, potential deals, etc., is how can I make this opportunity put cash in my pocket from day one, or make it cash flow positive very quickly, right? How can I make this investment, this opportunity, cash flow positive from day one, right? So not take money out of my pocket, but put money in my pocket from day one, or very quickly in the next 30, 60, 90 days, right? So that's a question that I run my investing life on. So what are some questions that will have a massive impact for you, regardless of whether others believe them to be true or not, right? There's no truth, there's nothing that's false, only what you believe it to be so. So as we go full circle back to Tony who says, the quality of your questions determines the quality of your life, right? So what powerful questions can you ask yourself when it comes to unlocking the money vault, flipping the bird on the 9 to 5, and slashing decades from building wealth, right? There's a great question. How can you slash decades off of building wealth? Ask the right questions. You determine the quality of your life, my friends. Okay, so that's today's episode of Snapshots from the Summit. Something for you to think about. If you'd like to know how you can put cash flow into your pocket from day one with that quality question, then reach on out above or below this episode. You'll find 3 ways. Pick one. Let's have a chat about creating the cash flow for you from day one as we help you unlock the money vault, flip the bird on the 9 to 5, and slash decades from building wealth. This is Dwayne signing off for the team here at Conquer Your Everest. Until the next episode, I will speak to you again on the next episode of Snapshots from the Summit. Till then, bye for now.